That's the Steelers for me. They've upgraded all these positions, and I still don't think they are in the same league as some of these teams that they're going to be facing to have to get over 7.5 wins.
Let's talk about some teams that we're not as high on. Looking at this list, let's put it back up. These are all the win totals right now, initial Vegas lines. Give me a team you're looking at and you're saying, sorry, give me the under.
Yeah, man, I'm going to have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. And I know you're going to argue me with this because you have facts and you have stats, and I get it. I really do. But just looking at the body of players that they have right now.
Call that a roster.
I call it a body of players. That's my new term for the season. I don't see any way. They went 10-7 last year, okay? I get that. And this season, they're projected at 7.5. I'm going under because the schedule they have in front of them is daunting. It is scary. And I'll point this out to you. They also have the Bengals in their division, right? Well, last season, the Bengals were not what the Bengals this season hope to be. So maybe I'm being a little biased there, but the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals are all going to be a much better team than the Steelers. But we're talking about the Steelers 7.5, right? Just listen to some of these opponents. The Ravens twice, the Bengals twice, the Browns twice, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Chargers with a new head coach, the Eagles, the Colts, the undetermined Falcons. Tell me where this roster can stack up to that schedule and win 8 times. Where?
Let's say they split the division games. Okay, so they get a Raven, a Bengals, a Browns. You might say I'm being generous. Okay, let's just give them 2.
Very.
Not even 3. Let's give them 2.
Okay,
2 division wins. Then Cowboys, no. Chiefs, no. Chargers, no. Giants, probably. Jets, it could go either way. I'm going to give them the Jets, okay? So that's 1, 2. That's 4 wins right there. Then you go Atlanta Falcons, I'll say no. Broncos, yes. Colts, they could probably beat. And then Raiders, and then right there, you just got to beat the Commanders to get to 8. So I guess when I look at it that way, it is more borderline preseason.
Wait, what? Run that back, because I just counted 7 that we just talked about, and we're at 7.5.
Well, the Commanders as well. Commanders at the end would be.
Well, you also gave them the Colts, where I definitely would have, because I think that the Colts receiving core would outmatch these cornerbacks in an instant. Like, it's just no competition. But I understand what you're saying, that Mike Tomlin's never won under, 10 wins or something like that?
He's never had a losing record, is the thing. So right. He's never had such a bad season. And here's where I'm saying, I am not high on the Steelers either, man. I don't think they're going to be good, but I think they're going to do what they do every year. And I'm back on my Steelers tangent. Pittsburgh fans, if we have any, probably hate me, but it's the same thing every year with Mike Tomlin. It's barely win enough games to sneak into the playoffs and then get blown out in the wild card round. They do it every single year. You're telling me, coming off of Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph, you add Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I don't care what issues they have. And Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator. How is that not an immediate upgrade right there? That's I understand looking at the roster, and even the Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record argument. You put that aside. You get
Tristan,
better quarterbacks. How do you not get better play?
Tristan, this is kind of what the Steelers are like to me, okay? You like NASCAR.
I do.
Right? Okay. Imagine you had a Toyota Corolla in the pit, okay? And you went and you upgraded the tires on it. You put a new spoiler on it. You lowered it down to help the G-force in the turn. You put a better driver in it. You put a new steering wheel, a better shifting transmission, and you changed the oil 8 times. You still have a Toyota Corolla engine mixed with a whole bunch of horsepower that you can't match up to. That's the Steelers for me. They've upgraded all these positions, and I still don't think they are in the same league as some of these teams that they're going to be facing to have to get over 7.5 wins. That's just my opinion.
When you compare the teams on paper in the preseason in April, yes.
Which is what we're doing.
That's the name of the game. I get it, but every single season, Mike Tomlin goes and the Steelers win multiple games they shouldn't win. Because they're in close games. Look at the playoff game against the Bills. They were in that game. That was a close game down to the wire. Mike Tomlin coaches his guys up, and he has them playing in tight games, and they're going to. I know when you look on paper and you're like, oh, no way, they're beating even the Colts or these teams. They're going to win some games they're not supposed to win. I understand like your analogy and what you're saying, and you've still got a Toyota Corolla. Okay, but that Toyota Corolla, without all the upgraded parts, won 10 games last year. I don't see how it gets worse from last year. When you've upgraded the quarterbacks, when you've upgraded the offensive coordinator, how do you go down 3 games from last year? I don't see it.
The Steelers, the only thing I'll give you, the Steelers beat the Ravens twice last year.
Yeah.
Because one, Lamar Jackson was out. The other one, they just called Baltimore's number. That was one of those games they were not supposed to win.
Right.
Now, the one where Lamar Jackson was out with injury, they were supposed to win that one.
Mm-hmm.
But the one when he played, they called their number. They had the Baltimore Ravens game plan mastered. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from, that there's going to be games that they're not supposed to win that they all of a sudden do, and we're like, whoa, how did that happen? And then the Steelers still managed to go nowhere for the entire season. They still just maybe have 10 wins, and, hey, that's great. But this schedule may be one of the toughest schedules in the league this upcoming season. I'm not going to bet on Russell Wilson, who I haven't seen play really well in the past 2 years, to lead this team over 7.5 wins.